Boom, welcome back to Challenge Yourself. I appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, most importantly, pay attention. In light of the recent events, I decided to take time to create a specific challenge that targets depression. Now, I hope whoever watches this video, if you find anything productive in it, please share it with a friend or family. Might help them out, you never know. So with that being said, depression is a subject that most people don't want to talk about, let alone address. When you're depressed, it often feels like nothing in the world really matters, and no one or nothing can actually change that. The most detrimental, especially dangerous thing about depression is that it encourages the most negative thoughts, that discourages you to even seek the type of help, let alone the type of perception that you need to recover from it. Lack of energy, low self-esteem, not much excitement are some of the symptoms of depression. So for anybody experiencing these type of emotions, I just hope you understand that this is something that can be treated. I like to look at depression like a parasite. And like any other physical disease, the only way to kill it is by attacking the parasites that infect you. The only thing is, you have to believe yourself. I can't make you any happier than only you can make yourself. So 8 different ways of fighting depression. And every single one of these, I guarantee you, if you exercise and implement in your daily life, you will see success. But you have to do it yourself. Most importantly, you have to want it. You have the power inside of you, but you have to understand that. So I hope you take heed to every single one of these. And like I said, the only way that these suggestions that I make can actually have an effect on your life is if you wholeheartedly want to do this, right? You have to do this yourself. So the first step, you have to recognize and conquer the self-attacks, okay? One of the main things about depression is you're not your biggest fan. So the minute you start doing that with yourself, understand that that's exactly what you're doing, beating yourself up for no damn reason. Depression is accompanied by a very critical and self-demeaning perception and condescending mentality. And so the more that you feed it, the stronger it will be and the louder that voice will become. You see, when we're depressed, we tend to accept this as our true reality. And so it makes it even harder to snap yourself out of it. Many people fail to recognize this point of view and don't realize that the most negative voice that they're actually hearing is coming from within them. We all have an inner voice, and it's either motivating us or it's demotivating us. So understand, when you're in a state of depression, that inner voice is telling you to sink even lower. Number 2, the second step is really think about what you could be angry or sad about. Most of the time, depression is a mask of some kind of anger or pain. And now that pain, it either breeds pure anger or it brings pure sadness that translates into depression. So some of us could have had a bad experience growing up that not only can we not let go, but it won't let go of us. And then the next thing you know, you don't care about anything and you're numb to everything. You see, understanding the fact that whatever transgression that took place in your youth is still affecting you now is the first step of getting over your depression. You see, suppressing or cutting off these emotions, what we don't understand and what we tend to forget is that these emotions build up, and then sooner or later they will erupt. It's either we deal with these emotions or we bottle them up and they end up landing us in serious situations. And a lot of times people who are depressed are not only angry at themselves, but they also display this anger towards others. By acknowledging or addressing either a sadness or an anger, you tend not to explode on anybody else because you've not only dealt with it, but you've concluded it. Okay, so the next step, you gotta be active. You have to be active. When you're depressed, your energy levels are low. So most of the time, the last thing you wanna do is step outside and go do anything. Pushing yourself not only makes it easier the next time, but you've won a round against the depression. And the last thing you want to do when feeling down is to keep yourself from getting up. It is a psychological fact that activity fights depression. Keeping your heart rate up for 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week, scientifically it is proven you are emotionally better and stable. Exercising releases a neuroplasticity in your brain, which in turn releases a neurochemical called endorphins. Even just going out for a walk and catching some sun can do the trick. All you have to do is try. Okay, so the next step, don't isolate yourself. The first thing when feeling like this is you don't want to be around anybody. Try your best to go out, step out and go do something. Go play some basketball, go grab somebody, go fishing with you. When you are depressed, you may hear yourself saying, I don't want to bother anybody. People have their own problems. You see, that's exactly what depression wants you to do, is to keep to yourself and stay isolated. But we need to understand is that the sooner that we share our problems, the sooner we can deal with them. And don't forget, anytime you hear that type of negative energy, those are those parasites. And that's the last thing you want to listen to. And believe it or not, friends and family want to know what's going on with you, especially if you're not feeling well. Even the simple act of putting yourself in a social environment can lift your spirits. You won't feel as lonely anymore. You'll mess around and run into somebody you know. Another trick, might be simple, but it works. Watch a funny TV show or a movie. You know, sometimes just a little laughter and a little comedy can always lift the spirits, right? Especially something that you know growing up you've always found funny, or you've always watched with your family, you know, where it brings back good memories. And don't think of it as an exercise. Think of it as just reminding yourself of the good memories when you're feeling down. The next step, don't punish yourself for feeling bad. We all feel bad here and there, but understand that you gotta feel bad and then you have to move on. Feeling doubt and self-hatred will only multiply the feeling of depression. Critical and negative thoughts of yourself will only slow down the progression that you are trying to make, or that you would like to make. Then the next step is see a therapist. There's nothing taboo, there's nothing soft, there's nothing wrong with seeing a therapist. The good thing about a therapist is that it's somebody from the outside looking in, so there's no reason for them to be biased. Or talk to a friend. Sometimes you don't always have to pay somebody to get you through some of this stuff. Understand that your friends, your family, your community, in a sense, are your counselors, they are your therapists, because these are the people we have always went to when we've had problems. So why do you think they wouldn't be there for you now? They've been there for you your whole life. And if you don't have those people, they're out there waiting for you, and they're ready to meet you. Hey, thanks for your time, folks. I really appreciate it. And like I said, any of these steps help you, please share and like, and hopefully it can help somebody else too. This is the challenge. Thank you for your time. Like, subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.